We are back on air, and once again, ladies and gentlemen at home and in the audience here, I want to thank you for participating and being present and listening to this Stoughton Candidates Forum for 2015. We just concluded our questioning of our selectmen candidates, and now we have an opportunity to speak with our moderator, Howard Hansen, who is once again running unopposed for the position of moderator. Good evening, Mr. Hansen.
Good evening, and good evening to everybody in our television audience.
Well, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to ask two very brief questions of you. And then once again, I want to note that the questions were prepared by members of the League of Women Voters and by the Chamber of Commerce. And so therefore, I want to be able to ask you the questions, and then I'll give you a 2-minute opportunity for closing. First question I have for you, Mr. Hansen, is, and I would ask for folks behind me to please hold the conversation so that Mr. Hansen can hear the questions that I have for him. In light of the fact that almost all precincts are lacking full participation in town meeting, and since the length of town meeting seems to be the main reason people choose not to run for a seat, what do you propose can be done to remedy the situation?
Well, first of all, this year is very, very unusual. Many people could not get their papers in on time. They were snowed out, a lot of issues. I've been, for the past few years, pushing the one raised hand this year. In fact, on Thursday night, there is be an opportunity to come down, have a caucus type of meeting for people who can run on a write-in campaign. It's a very important issue. The issue was brought up in your selectmen's discussion. And the most serious problem is in Precinct 8. It has been a problem since we redistricted over 20 years ago. And it has to do with the fact, and the discussion was brought up, the fact of the demographics in Precinct 8 do not match the way the number of actually qualified registered voters. That is one part. The second part, and a couple of years ago I developed a pamphlet that should be given out anytime somebody comes into the town of Stoughton to register to vote. And it explains the purpose and how your local government works. Many people come in from cities, out of state. They're not familiar with the town meeting form of government. We have the most sophisticated representative town meeting in the Commonwealth. There are two of this type, which we have standing committees.
Well, that's the time that you have for that question, and the next question is really going to give you an open opportunity. We know that you are considered a town historian. You devote quite a bit of time in your position as the moderator of the town, as you have for the many years that you have served. What do you do in your spare time, Mr. Hansen?
My what?
What do you do in your spare time?
Try to get a little rest. Really, looking up there, there's a picture of my father taken in 1988 when he was on the building committee. I don't think I'm going to hit his record of serving the town. He did it for 68 years, from the time he was 22 until a week before he died. I grew up in the town. Technically, I was born in Brockton. But I did live 4 years in Rochester, New York as a student, but I maintained my residency and have voted in every election since I registered to vote in 1964 when the age was 21. absentee voting when I was in the military, and I've served in the military from Company B, 101st Engineers in Stoughton, Massachusetts. I have all four of my siblings have served in the military, and one of those, my brothers, has passed away at the age of 63. I am not considered a veteran. I'm a non-veteran veteran, but that's as far as the interest in this town. It has a wonderful history and the basis of our town government, the town meeting. We are descended from the very, very first town meeting, which is 330 years older than me. No, I wasn't there, but it came from Dorchester. You cannot have...
Well, your time has expired on that one, but you can take your 2 minutes now and you can continue on because you have 2 minutes to give a closing as all of our candidates have had. So you can take your 2 minutes however you like in your closing statement, Mr. Hansen.
If you want a democracy to work, you have to participate in it. And that's the only way. And participation does not mean necessarily things will be efficient. The most important part about a town meeting is to be able to express your views, do some constructive service to the community, and when you have dialogue between people in a sitting like this, the job of the moderator is simply to make it flow, make it work. It is not to make your decisions. It is to make sure that you can make a decision, that the business of the moderator is 98% done outside of that meeting, but it's to be sure that that meeting works for you. My appeal right here is if you are out there watching this session and watching the meetings in the town, and you're not in town meeting, find out why. Because this is an opportunity. I do have brochures on the instructions of how to do a write-in vote. The only thing you need to qualify in a write-in vote is a minimum of 12 write-in votes, and there's other processes that you will learn about. So my job is to make it work. I've been doing this job. I've been in town meeting for over 45 years or better, and I've followed the process, and the idea is to make it work for you. Not for my importance, not for my resume. I'm old enough to be retired. That's hard to say because when you're retired, you do more other things than you did when you worked.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Hansen. I ask everyone to give Mr. Hansen a round of applause. Thank you, and I wish you luck in your campaign.